Hey guys, what's up everybody? Hi, Lord Tamberlane back with more Obscurities in miniature, and today we are back at Death High with Kingdom Death. And we've got the female preacher. We had the male one before, at least I think he was the male one. This dude who shall no longer look this way because I'm about to go prime a bunch of figures since it finally decided to stop raining. Because it rains all the time now in mid-May. Anyway, so what do we got in here? Oh man, I thought I had the first run. Whatever. So we have the usual bases. We have the nice postcard and trading card, I guess, of the exact same thing. And then we have the model itself. And that's what we're all after. So if you are not familiar with the Death High models that I'm going to zoom in on here in just a moment, they are what is called a photoresin model, which means they are actually resin models, but they are basically made with a 3D printer. So her head does not want to attach yet, but I'm assuming that's because there's a little leftover crud that needs to be cleaned up. That's not a big deal. I don't know why, but her uniform reminds me of one of the Sailor Stars from Sailor Moon stuff. She's big. She's a big girl. Almost on par with her male counterpart. But it is what he is. I think it is. I'm going to assume it is. I'm going to keep calling him the preacher, but if I'm wrong, it's your fault. And then what do we got here that's going along with it? Oh boy. So she's got her Kingdom Death Rosary of some sort. That's going to be a fun one to try to keep in one piece. Hopefully, well, I got to say it is pretty thick. Wrapped around her arm there. And then we have her hammer, so I guess I am right. Pair of boxing gloves, because we all know preachers are hand-to-hand fighters, and that's going to need some cleanup for sure. We can get all the other junk out of the way there. And her book bag, as always. Yeah, the more I think about it, the more I look at it, they are pretty similar setups. So I'm going to clean her up, put her together, and see how she stacks up with her male counterpart, who may or may not end up being primed by the time I film that. We'll see. Anyway, back to work. All right, we've got our preacher all finished up. She needs a little help there at the moment from our friend Bloody Bradigan, but that's mostly because she just isn't glued on the base yet. We probably could glue her, but I'm not going to. So cleanup wasn't a big deal, and overall, so you'll notice one thing. I didn't really do a good job of cleaning out the head area, and that's just because I figure, you know what, it's going to be a lot easier. It really just, her head and neck really slide on nice and simple there. So I'm going to leave it as is, spray her, prime her. And surprisingly, it is nice that her feet are actually attached to the rest of the torso. The arms glued on really easily, no problem. I'm pretty sure I built her correctly. And it'll just make painting her outfit a lot simpler. And once we get her glued on the base, that'll be fantastic. So we'll grab the male guy just to get a good sense of scale. He never wants to stand up because of how he has been designed. You can see he is pretty comparable. I grabbed a finish resin just to show you how she stacks up size-wise. Pretty similar in size. I know there were issues early on with the size, and you know, obviously, if you haven't seen a Kingdom Death model next to a Games Workshop model, there is a bit of a shock in how large they are. So this is a more modern human, a space marine, obviously next to her. And even though her head's still not attached all the way, she is still quite the giantess. Not as large as our lantern guard friend, but still large nonetheless. I'm going to go and run outside while the sun's still up, get her primed, and hopefully we'll be seeing her painted soon. Pretty cool model, lots of character as always, and a nice, fun alternative to your regular run-of-the-mill survivors, if you were so inclined. I almost wish that there was some kind of recipe for gear cards to build uniforms for your survivors, because at this point, I mean, you could, I've got enough, I could painted ones even, in fact, that I could run a full Death High set of survivors. So, you can be picky and choosy now at this point. Anyway, that is the Preacher. As far as I know, there are still quite a few of these available on Kingdom Death's website, and they do tend to rotate these in and out fairly regularly, and since they are photoresin and printed in-house, they can offer them up pretty often. So keep your eyes peeled on the actual Kingdom Death website. Don't go to the people who are going to gouge you ridiculously, or maybe not too bad if you can't wait, but they are available pretty regularly from the Kingdom Death website if you're interested in these Death High anime-inspired high school girl models. So that said, High Lord Tamberlane is going to bid you all fond farewell. Please check out more of our Obscurities and miniatures, and we'll be back with more. See you later. Bye-bye.